But I don't think there is an immediate reaction if they're looking for a crowd of people storming Kremlin. This is obviously not going to happen. What it does mean for Russian politics, I think, is that Russian opposition has one more figure to be consolidated around, and an incredibly strong figure and in many ways a martyr now. So I don't think that we'll see something tomorrow or in a week's time, but when Kremlin will become weaker, we'll see that Aleksei Navalny makes a good hero, and perhaps in many ways a more uniting one than during his life. Look, that's a very difficult one, and I think there are two perspectives on that. There is the American perspective, which is surprisingly straightforward. US has for a while made a bet on Navalny as a single leader of Russian opposition, and it looks like, to a large extent, American foreign policy towards Russian internal policy has been to hope that Navalny will eventually come to power and support him and essentially ignore the rest of Russian opposition. So this will present some difficulty to United States foreign policy. I don't think Russian opposition can, even in theory, produce a similar leader now, because Navalny changed his authority in the field. He changed it on barricades, on mass protests, something not really imaginable in Moscow these days. We can only hope that Navalny's team and perhaps his wife will pick up the banner and try to maintain the influence they have on many Russians and the influence they have on many Western institutions. Whether it will make them join the ranks of other Russian oppositioners, I doubt that, but I certainly hope so. We shall see what Joe Biden and other Western leaders decide to do. But frankly, 2 years in a war with Ukraine, I can hardly imagine there is some sanction or some tariff or something they can impose on Kremlin, which Kremlin will fill. It just feels improbable. In 2021, when Joe Biden was promising all sorts of hell unleashed or Putin should something happen to Navalny, there was plenty of options. Now we're in a situation when everything has been exhausted. Look, we're in a state of war between Ukraine and Russia, and obviously Western world is supporting Ukraine. And during war, there's only a limited amount of things you can do to damage the other side. So it will be very strange and frankly hard to imagine if Biden's reaction to Navalny's murder will be to supply more arms to Ukraine. That's just a strange logic. And other than that, I don't think there's much Kremlin fears at this point. So I just don't think there's much but condemnation that Biden can offer Kremlin, and I think to an extent Kremlin will look at it and have a small smile, saying, look, you haven't done anything to us. However, one of the big things for Kremlin is trying to maintain this image of a legitimate international power. And those things, even on the international arena, make much harder for Putin to make friends. The main agenda of Kremlin and its journalists or its press officers is that, look, Putin doesn't want that. Putin didn't want that. Putin would benefit from Navalny sitting in prison indefinitely. Who needs it before election? And we should look at who benefits it. So I believe officially they'll just say, a prisoner died, something happened, we had a medical emergency, life is life, people die. Unofficially they'll push an agenda of it being some sort of a conspiracy by Western powers to create a martyr in Russia which obviously fails any logical tests, but that never stopped anyone.